What's going on, guys? This is John with Gamester81.com. I'm here with Jay from 3killabytes. What's up, Jay?
Not much, man.
Awesome.
Nice to finally meet you.
Well, thanks for your hospitality. I'm on your set, actually.
Yeah, this is a 3KB set.
We are Missing two people. We're missing Kat and we're missing Mike. So once
They don't get paid enough to be here.
But thanks for having me on. Now,
yeah, man.
Tell our viewers here a little about your show and kind of how you got started.
So basically, 3 years ago, Mike and I were sitting there and we got advanced screening tickets to Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
And we decided, you know, YouTube's huge now. Actually, I'll tell the truth. My friends were like, you could never be well known on YouTube. And I was like, screw you guys.
Yeah.
And I showed them wrong. But Mike and I were like, let's just review it early and see if anybody watches. And we put it up after we seen the film at like 4 in the morning, and by like 2 days later it was at like 10,000 views. Wow. First video, which doesn't happen anymore. Yeah. Like it just nobody does that. So we saw that and we were like, holy shit, we should keep reviewing stuff. And now it's 540 videos later. Yeah,
it's great. And I love your variety having to show you. Not only review games, we'll talk about that in a second here, but you also review movies, as you mentioned.
Yeah, films, games, we do debates, we do like secret gems, like cool stuff, like say for instance this. If you've never seen this is an amazing show to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just certain things like, and then same as this, free enterprise. I think that's why they're on the set, because we talked about them in
it's a lot of nostalgia, right? A lot of just fun memories of just growing up. A lot
yeah,
of
exactly.
Yeah,
like, basically all the stuff on the set, like Max Brooks' World War Z. Another example of something, if you're into zombies or you don't know the history of like zombies, this is sort of on that path. Yeah. Teaches you about it. And I kind of like, not educating, not like I'm a teacher, but just showing certain things. Sure. You know, because zombies are huge nowadays and nobody really knows. You know, I'm not going to say nobody knows, but a certain amount of people think zombies are like 28 days later. Yeah. But really, zombies are from Night of the Living Dead. Right. Those were the original zombies. And if you haven't seen that film, you really are missing out on something. Because I remember when I was growing up, I was kind of naive to old stuff. I was like, oh, everything new is important. And as I'm getting older, I don't know for you, but as you get older, you start to appreciate a lot more. And I think that's what our show's about, just showing kids certain things that they haven't seen that they would love. I like showing stuff off like that, and then getting that feedback, because I think we technically are probably the most commented back to the audience on YouTube. Like, we actually answer every single comment usually. Wow. It's a lot of work, but yeah, that's why I still do the show. Really,
that's dedication too.
Yeah.
Now you're not only on YouTube though. You live stream. You also have your own website. Yep. 3kb.ca. Yep. You're also on G2PO. Yep. Where else can people find you? On Twitter? You're big on Twitter.
Yeah, if you want to add me on Twitter, it's is it Jhoof? No, it's my Twitter is J
3kb, right?
No, it's J. So JAYHOOFT. It should be J.
Okay,
3KB,
okay,
but
okay. Okay. I'll put links to all these below.
Cool.
Yeah, and then you have your Facebook, obviously, too, as well.
Yeah. Like Facebook, if you just search 3killabytes on there, the group will show up.
Yeah. So back to zombies. What would you say is like one of your favorite zombie video games?
Favorite zombie video game? Jesus. I mean, Left 4 Dead was one of the first ones that introduced that whole teammate sort of thing. Yeah. Just like it would kind of be if you were in sort of like a zombie situation. Sure. You would be in a team. But I think The Walking Dead, like we talked about earlier, well, that wasn't this one.
Well, that's cool. We did a video on this channel.
Yeah, on my channel. But we talked about the Walking Dead video game by Tall Tale. Yeah. Incredible game, and it really shows off like everything you need to know about that series and how it really would be to be faced with those situations of having to like either save a little girl or maybe even just like sacrificing somebody so she could eat. And it's like these tough questions in a video game that we hardly get nowadays.
Yeah, what I love about that particular game is it's very story driven. It's not just zombies are coming around the corner scaring the shit out of you. Yeah, it's more like, you know, there's like your actions, your decisions have consequences later on in the game.
It's almost like the zombies are. It's not about zombies.
No, and that's the same as with the series and the graphic novels and the comics as well.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, so they kind of really took that and brought it to the game. Which on the flip side, you see the new Walking Dead game by Activision, and it's just like. Yeah, it's just don't even want to go there.
Yeah, but I mean, what do you expect, really? I mean, there's a certain level of quality out there, and any game that's just made in like 6 months to be put out because people are starving for something.
Not just milking a franchise.
Exactly. It would be like right now if like a Jurassic Park game came out, You know what I mean? Because it's being re-released. I remember Telltale
they did make a dress party,
and I heard it wasn't that good.
I have it. It's not that great. It's interesting though. They do. It's definitely not as good as The Walking Dead. You can't go into it thinking it, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible.
I think like point and click games fit well in certain genres.
Yeah.
And in The Walking Dead seems like it's the best one they've hit yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't wait till the My Little Pony point and click. That's gonna be awesome.
I can't wait either.
For all the bronies out there. So anyway, so you do video game reviews. So what kind of upcoming videos do you have planned?
Actually, Mike is right up there, literally right now, editing our Evil Dead review.
Okay.
We did the video game Defiance, and we also did. I can't remember what we did. We did something else too. So yeah, Defiance is coming out. Evil Dead's coming out. Slenderman: The Arrival.
Okay.
We reviewed that. Coming up, like we're getting a review copy for Injustice: Gods Amongst Us.
The fighting game, right?
Amazing. I played it already.
Is it? Okay.
Is
there blood?
From what I've seen, there's not much. There is definitely.
Because I know when they did the Mortal Kombat versus
DC
universe, that was like the biggest complaint was, oh, it's Mortal Kombat and there's no blood. But this isn't a Mortal Kombat game, so it's
This is what they did really. I feel like they took the superheroes, put them into Mortal Kombat, took out the extreme violence, and from what I played, it feels like you're a superhero fighting another superhero because you can. There's certain parts, you know how it's sort of a side-scroller.
Yeah.
There's certain parts of the map that you actually interact with. So on Xbox, you hit like the right button 2, and it'll say there's like a big trash can. If you're in front of it, you can push the button and actually grab it and swing it around and hit your opponent.
So and that's cool.
It's
you
amazing.
You can take the environment and use it towards your advantage.
Yeah, for instance, there's a scene on in Gotham City where a helicopter's floating in the background. And if you were in front of it against your opponent and hit the button, you actually kick them up against the helicopter and they fall into the fall down. And there's other things. If you're at the edge of the level and you hit them really hard with the combo, you send them off the map, and they go through like 3 buildings, and you see and then you see them land on a bus.
Yeah,
it's intense, but
sounds like it.
I feel that it's basically Mortal Kombat. To be honest.
Well, I loved what Warner Brothers did with Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat is amazing.
It's an amazing game.
And this is just as amazing. It really is.
So are they going to release eventually like DLC for other characters and stuff that they're kind of playing in gold?
See, that's the thing. I think that they've learned their lesson with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And how they had certain DLC and it just made the game better. I think with this they're going to take it to the next level. From what I hear, there's like 6 to 8 people that will be joining the game afterwards. And some of them are like top secret. You don't know about them yet. So
the next step is to merge the two and bring like cross-platform on them.
That would be amazing. Yeah. But I mean, I think it goes to show they have the correct amount of sort of innovation in it. They got the level design down pat, so it's so good that it's seamless. You can add those background sort of attacks into your combos. So, like a classic fighting game, you do like a 6-hit combo. Now you do the 6-hit combo and throw the garbage can at them. And then they get hit in the air and you continue it in the air. Wow. That's another thing that's really cool about the game is the air combat is almost just as important as being on the ground because most of the superheroes fly. Wow. So I think they sat back and were like, well, how are we going to do it? Because, Superman can fly and Batman can't really. He can kind of glide if he wants. So what they did was you do a lot of combos in the air now. So let's, for instance, say like back forward and a kick button would do like a fireball in, say, Mortal Kombat. Now when you do those and you jump and do them in the air.
Oh, that's cool.
And you have combos that are just air. So it's a whole nother sort of level to the game now.
Wow, that's really cool.
So I'm super excited for that because I'm actually really good at those fighting games, so I can't wait to beat a lot of people.
Well, it's cool that several years back with release of Street Fighter 4, how they kind of brought the fighting genre back into mainstream, which is great. So
even though I'm not a huge fan of that art design that they did, I kind of really wanted them to go for the realism look in a Street Fighter game, but
they did that with the movie Street Fighter movie the arcade.
Isn't that ridiculous?
That was ridiculous.
We've got a game based on the movie that's based on the game.
Yeah.
So it's like
Street Fighter the movie the game. Or I don't know what it's titled, but it's weird.
I think it's an amazing time to be in games because we're at the end of the generation where they know how to use the power of the systems, but they're also it's kind of also not so good because they're also holding back certain things that are going to come out on PS4 and the next Xbox. So If you played like Tomb Raider, that was a perfect example of almost like a next-gen game, even though it isn't yet.
It's an amazing game.
Or like Bioshock Infinite. There's things in that game that will live on for like 15 years.
And on the flip side, the games that are for the next generation, those are going to be the first games for the system. So who knows the potential for that system? You know, like you look at.
Yeah, that's another.
I mean, that's like it's incredible.
See, I think what's so exciting about the PS4 is that I've talked to some of the people making games on it, and they say that there's no ceiling. So there's like when they used to program on the PS3. The ceiling would be actually programming on it because it was very difficult to use the multi-thread core in that thing or whatever the hell they were doing with it. And now apparently it's so easy, but the best part they say is there's no cap. So you could just like create, say, Red Dead Redemption, but they're saying like you can make Red Dead Redemption in it, but then times it by like 50.
Huh.
And that
sounds awesome. But when I hear that, I think updating. You know, that's the thing that really annoys me about this current generation is just, you know, I buy a game like I just thought what game I did recently, and it was like I popped it in for the PS3, and it was like 30 minutes just update.
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous.
Probably Skyrim. Something like
Skyrim
that.
was one of them, yeah. But there's a game I just purchased recently. Like, I'm drawing a blank on it, but I was like, this is freaking.
Well, you know what's crazy? I didn't turn on my PS3 for like a month or two. Just turned it on last night to watch Netflix. Update for the system. Update for the Netflix. Installing both.
So what's going to happen when they kill the system? I mean, what's going to happen when the time comes that they
background updating?
Okay,
apparently.
So they'll still support. I mean, it's not like you can't play the game system anymore.
No, apparently what's going to happen here, this is the rumor. You know how they stream certain things?
Yeah.
Their dream model is to... So, the system turns on instantly, apparently.
This is the PS4 you're referring to? Okay, wow.
So, apparently you push the button... Or, sorry, no. When you turn it on, there's a loading. Okay. But once it's on and you turn it on to whatever, sleep mode, it's instant on.
Okay.
Another thing is...
So when you're asleep, we'll be updating, or I mean, when
there's certain things like that. But
that's cool.
You know how they have that new streaming technology, which allows you to basically play a game and it's being streamed.
Ustream, or was it through?
Well, no, that's to actually like stream a live show. But I mean, like you know, On Live, that company that tried to do like the On Live thing where you can just start a game instantly and you're playing it and you don't need a super fast computer. The idea is this. At least this is what they're going for. I don't think they've explained it as well as they should have. But basically, say you were loading up God of War 4, whatever it may be, or Gran Turismo.
That was the game I was. No, the new God of War is one.
Is the one?
The one that took a half-hour update. That's
oh my god. Or Gran Turismo 6 or whatever it'll be at.
Okay.
You pop the disc in, and as soon as you put the disc in, it reads the disc and it goes, okay, switch to a live feed of the game.
Oh, okay.
So you're not actually playing your disc. You're playing a streaming copy of it, and as that's happening, it's actually downloading. And when it catches up in the background, then it switches to your actual system.
So, I mean, you'll need a really strong internet connection to play.
Yeah, like that feature is only internet.
Yeah.
And not necessarily. You don't need, for like On Live, I've played On Live on just standard sort of like high-speed internet. Yeah. And it does 720. The thing is, when you start to blow it up, then you start to see it. But on a television, different resolution. Yeah. So I think the technology will be there, but it'll be a while before they push the main button and it's like fully up online.
What scares me about that, though, on the flip side also, is just you mentioned the downloading. When you buy a disc, you pop it in, and the games go down. What's the point of having the physical disc at some point? You know, Sony's going to say, why are we spending all this money to make these Blu-ray discs or wherever they're going to be on when we can just have a DLC only?
See, I think the thing about that is bandwidth is just not high enough.
Okay.
I mean... For instance, yesterday, this is insane. I installed the Old Republic on my PC. 30 gigabytes total.
Wow.
Like I'm give or take like 5 gigs in between there.
Wow.
I literally watched it download 11 gigabytes, and then 8 gigabytes. Well, we have super fast internet here, lucky enough. But if you had like standard, like it's probably 2 days. Like it's probably not fun. For me, it was like an hour because we have like 200 and. I don't know, it's like 200 down, so that's...
More than 3 kilobytes.
Yeah, it's more than 3 kilobytes, that's for sure. But I think the future of gaming is online, but I don't think like used games, like that rumor right now about used games not being allowed. Yeah. Because this is the thing, when you go and buy this game, next gen, and they give this to you and you pay $60, you bring it home, and it has to be online, what happens when the system goes out of date? Yeah. And they shut the server off, then you've technically just been renting that game because now you can't play it.
Yeah.
So you got to think to yourself, are the companies that idiotic that they're going to do that? And I really don't feel like they will. Like right now the rumor is that Microsoft might be going down this online only system route, but PS4, they've already came out and said, listen, there's no way we're doing that. Yeah. So,
by the way, ET next gen will be awesome. I would think it'd be awesome next gen.
Yeah, the original ET on whatever it was.
Alien.
I love ET. That was
hopefully it's better than the Atari 2600 version. No. So.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Right on. So, I mean, obviously you're past my games. What other interests are you into? What other?
Like in general?
In general.
Well, I don't know. I do like 3killabytes full time, and I spend a lot of time with like ANC games. Yeah. Which I think you're going to probably be doing a video on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And at ANC Games, there's something called ANC World, and it's kind of like Toronto's only arcade.
Wow.
But it's not. It is an arcade in the sense that there's cabinets, but when you see the video, you'll understand what I mean. It's sort of, it's like it's an arcade, but to the next level.
That's cool.
Like they do tournaments, they do meet and greets with like certain people that come to town. Like AVGN was there. So yeah, other things that I do, this is something that's crazy. I just got back into it, but Magic cards.
Okay.
Magic cards is like a strong addiction, and it's like once you start collecting, if I gave any advice about it, it would be to start out with just buying starter decks.
Okay.
Play with your friends, see if you like the game, because you can invest. The thing about Magic cards is amazing is you can invest like $200 to $300 into it, but you can turn that $200 to $300 into like I'm talking a giant pile of cards. But that's not necessarily the best way to play the game.
Right.
The best way would be to buy a box of them, find the really good cards, put them in your deck. The thing that I do, because I'm just like a casual player, I'll buy a whole slew of them.
Like a lot, yeah.
And I'll pull out the ones that cost money and then go buy more with those cards. So essentially the huge pile that I just had paid for itself out of the good cards. And that's actually a good strategy to just build up stacks.
Key is you have to know which cards are worth money. You have to do your homework. Where do you find researchers?
I just go online. You just type in like Magic Card Guidebook or Magic Card costs, and you can pull up any card and you instantly know. So
because I know they now have like a video game, Magic Card video game, right?
That's another thing.
Yeah.
It's on Steam and it's cheap. Last year's version I think is cheaper. You can buy actually last year's copy for I think $10 now, and it comes with I think like 3 or 4 decks, and then you can download like extra decks for 99 cents.
Wow.
And you play online too, so it teaches you how to play on and offline technically. So you can learn the basics from the video game, then go to your friend's house and play it.
Very cool.
The other thing I've always wanted to get into is like Johnny. Every time I talk to him, he's like Dungeons and Dragons, Dungeons and Dragons. Do it, do it, do it. And that's why I like ANC World as well, is because we're setting up they've officially signed up as like an official place to play Magic cards.
Nice.
So we're going to be starting tournaments over there at ANC World in Toronto, and also we're going to get into the tabletop sort of genre. So we'll try Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to live stream that to see if anyone's interested in the game or how it's played. And there's also something that's very popular in Toronto called Snakes and Lattes. And it's basically like a cafe, but you have to book almost a month in advance.
Really?
And you go in there, and the tables are set up, but on every single table there's a different board game.
Oh wow!
And you play a game and switch. And so it's like you go and have coffee and have like really good desserts and stuff, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
So ANC, we're trying to do that, but more cater towards gamers.
Do you remember the board game? I think Milton Bradley made it. Hero Quest. Remember that?
I think so.
That was more right? Tabletop, and it was really cool. There was dungeons. It wasn't necessarily D&D, but very, very similar. And actually, I think Warhammer, like it became the whole like Warhammer series. Like that's
really?
They spawned onto that, which is cool.
See, there's crazy things I see out there that I want to get into. Have you heard of LARP?
Live action role playing, right?
Yeah, I seen a documentary on this.
Yeah. I'm about to break your chair, man.
That's okay. If you break it, it'll be epic. That'd be hilarious. LARPing, it sounds ridiculous, but if you've seen the movie like Role Models, they LARP in that, and like I want to do that one day. Like I want to actually design my armor, and tape it and paint it, and go out there, and you actually there's like hit points assigned to arms and legs and all sorts of things, and you hit them, and then you got your arm. You know what I mean?
You ever watch The Guild?
No, that's one thing that I've never watched.
You watch that? It's great.
I heard that it's basically LARPing, isn't it?
It's kind of like LARPing. They do a lot of LARPing in this series. Yeah, it's a mini series. I think YouTube has it, and Netflix has as well, but they're like 10-15-minute episodes, but it's entertaining. I like it.
Have you played Magic?
Back in the day, I grew up in Seattle, and that's like kind of the headquarters for Magic and stuff.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
So I here and there, I was huge into the Star Trek Next Generation role-playing game, like the card game that they had. I was huge in that, and they had a Star Wars.
You're gonna laugh. Sorry to cut you off, but I just remembered when you said Star Trek card game.
Yeah.
I was cleaning the basement out at ANC Games, and I found a box of brand new packaged Next Generation cards.
Wow.
I'll show you the box when we get there. Because you might look at it and go, because it's brand new.
Like because they had the black border, which was like the limited run, and they had the white border, but they're super cool. And then they had like they expanded it to different series, and then of course Decipher was the company that made them, and then they did the Star Wars, and they had Empire Strikes Back, and they had all this cool shit. So I was huge into that. Honestly, I was huge, but never really too big into Magic, but I can definitely appreciate it, and I think they're really cool. I like the design art.
I love it.
Yeah,
it's just something about it. When we play here, we put on like Lord of the Rings soundtracks and just.
Would you say it's magical?
It's definitely magical. It's like there's moments that are magical when you calculate in your head like you're about to do a move.
Oh yeah.
And then you like realize that you can like add a sorcery spell to it and make it like double. Then there's like these moments of like, haha, screw you.
That's great.
And it's just like 7 hit points.
And then when they throw another card like that nullifies that.
Yeah, there's like an instant that says like deflecting and bounce back, and you're just like, oh. And that stuff happens.
Yeah.
That's what's amazing about Magic, because it's not just like a simple card game.
No, yeah.
You're thinking in your head like, oh, I'm going to hit him with this, but then you don't think ahead, and then he's like, boom, hits you, and you're just like, oh,
well, there's a lot of strategy involved, which is great and stuff. So.
Yeah, because really it's all numbers, and it's also luck. I mean, the thing about Magic is you build your own decks. And that's what's cool about it. There's thousands of cards to choose from now. So you build a deck based on your preferences. So you can build a deck and think it's better than your deck.
How many cards are in a deck?
60.
60. Okay.
So like out of that, like usually 23 to 30 are like mana cost cards, like sort of like what you use to actually pay to put cards down. The rest, there's like a certain amount of sorcery, instants, and creature cards.
Cool.
And you just build your deck. The cool thing about it is you can actually play alone to get your deck up to speed. So you shuffle the cards and just play your hand and see how many cards you get out.
Oh, wow.
And then you sort of see like, okay, I played it 8 times, or sorry, I played it 10 times and only twice did I get a really good hand. Then you realize like, oh, I should really
so a lot of strategy involved.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because you can really fine-tune the deck to have cards that work with each other. Then there's certain things like, say, a combo hit. It's almost like Skyrim. It's like you can enchant certain things, and if you get that certain hand, you're unstoppable. There's certain decks that can like kill you in like a couple hands.
Damn.
And when that...
Does a player keep the cards then?
No, that's the thing. Because some Magic cards are like... I think there's something called a Black Lotus card. It's from the first set. It's the most expensive card you can get. So like people can use those things in tournaments and whatnot, but there's certain cards that are banned because they're so powerful.
Oh, wow.
There's certain tournaments where they're like, you can only use this or this and this type of cards. But they always add on to it. So right now, Gate Crashers is a new series that came out. Before this was Planeswalkers. And these were cards with like even more special abilities built into them.
Wow.
So it was just like another layer. The only thing is like there's certain rules. The rules have changed over the years. Like the original decks were very easy to play. Now it's insane. Like if you put the cards together, it's like, okay, your card does this and this and this, but then his card does that, but then his trumps that.
Oh, yeah.
And then
the rule book is like super
exactly. And then somebody throws an instant that overruns, which means like the power goes through the cards to the player, and you're counting, and it's insane. It gets intense.
Wow. Wow.
Especially in tournaments. When I was at PAX, there was like 900 people playing.
Oh yeah.
And it was like there was judges, official judges, walking and like making sure people weren't cheating, making sure the numbers were right. It was intense.
That's cool. That's very cool. Well, Jay, I appreciate you being on my show. I will put a link to all where people can find you. I certainly encourage you guys to subscribe to him. Show some support to him and his crew.
Thank you.
Awesome guys.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Jay.
Nice to meet you finally.
Absolutely. Absolutely.